Let's bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our Mother Kundalini and put Bandhan. Shri Ganesh Mantra. Let us listen to Shri Mataji's speech.
Basic problem with human beings is this, that they're ignorant. On one side, they are proud of it. On the other side, they are frightened. Both the sides, to my eye, is the same. Either you are frightened or you are proud of it. It's both one. The pride leads to stupidity, and the frightening might lead to sort of a destroying capacity in you, the way you go on destroying yourself by all the time cursing yourself and saying that I am bad and I've done this bad and that. One has to get out of both these things and must know that you are a human being made out of so many, what you call for yonis, genes, so many genes through which you have passed and come to this stage where you are a human being. It is a special thing that is being created for a special thing after all. A human being is a special thing created for a special thing. But you are not the human being at the time of Moses. You are not the human being at the time when people were not evolved enough. You are people who are free to understand the value of freedom. If you understand the value of freedom, you are the right people for Sahaja. When you have freedom, then you must have discretion also how to use the freedom and respect that freedom and not to indulge into abandonment, which is stupidity. So going to extremes, either on one side or the other, is perhaps the sin. And the sin, so-called, gives you a fear. And aggression, which is also a sin, gives you a pride, or a kind, not pride, I would say vanity, which spoils your vision completely. So to talking to anyone who is a newcomer, one has to be careful that either they are coming from this side or that side, and dealing with them, we have to be extremely patient and loving. For I have told you that love does not know faults, does not know faults. And when we start finding faults with others, we should know our love is not matured so much. I would like any Sahaja Yogi to tell me about other Sahaja Yogi as a kind of a recommendation. Supposing I get angry with a person, I said, oh, he should try this, he should not have done this, or something. Then if a Sahaja Yogi tells me, no, mother, maybe, you see, then I like it. Maybe I'm testing you. But if you tell me 2 words even worse than that, then I feel, oh, these people are not loving. I've tested your love also, whether you really love each other or not. Because love is something that's a release. Actually, it's a release. Love is within you. And say, for example, for me, when I love you, it's a release of my boundless love within my heart. You see, it gives me such a release and such a relief and such a joy that I'm loving. I mean, it's flowing to you. If it doesn't flow, then I don't know how to work it out. If somebody is unkind, is not willing to receive it, then I don't know how to work it out, to see how to go around the person. And I'm not so good at conniving things and being artificial. You see, then I try some other tricks, you see, of working it out. But if they can receive your love, I'm sure they will realize that you are the people who are out here for love. The other day, we had a case in Rahuri. Actually, I had gone to a village where about 3-4 cars coming suddenly in a village. I was surprised how these people are coming from where. And they came down with their diseases. Actually, car people always have diseases, I think. So they came with their diseases. Somebody is diseased, another one is diseased. And there was one boy, he was down with blood cancer in New York. I said, now, that's too much. In New York, you have sent him there in a hospital and the doctors won't be good enough. He said, doesn't matter, mother. As long as you give him vibrations from here, we don't mind. So I took the photograph, I gave vibrations to the child, and I told them that you telephone to Christine. I gave them the number and tell her that these things to be done, and mother has given your address. Now Christine looked after this boy. Christine and Harman and all these people who are there, who are mostly new Sahaja Yogis. Except for Christine, all of them are absolutely new. And they went and looked after this boy, and this boy was cured. And the doctors were surprised, you see, that this boy was supposed to be, futuristically they said that he's going to die within 8 days' time. And he didn't die, not at all. He survived. And then they found all negative reading there, and he came down to see me. I, of course, worked on him and saw to it that it is removed completely from its roots. I worked on him, but when I saw him, I was amazed that his left navi, which is the cause of this trouble, was completely working all right. But there was some problem still left, but they did that. And the mother, see, who has met with a very sad experience. Her husband was killed on a highway by robbers. In her presence with these 2 small little children sitting in her lap, when about 10 years back, when this boy was hardly 6 years of age and another brother of his about 4 years of age. And this woman was so shocked, and after that to get this kind of a disease for the son, you see. And what she told me, that's what's so heartening. She said, you see, these are all the angels I felt. They didn't ask for anything. Day and night they came and worked for this boy. They were so kind, and they came all the time and worked and did so much. Mother, what have you given them? I said, I've done nothing. I've just done nothing. They've got their own realization. And they said, but we can't imagine human beings being that selfless. We are all selfish people. We are really very selfish. They are so selfless. How did they work it out? We just can't understand how it has worked out. But it has worked out, and the boy is cured, and they were so sweet. They spent their own money to come to the hospital, and they looked after it. The doctors were amazed, because doctors, they The woman had to sell lots of her things because she's a rich woman, no doubt, but she had to sell one of her factory to go to America to pay for the doctors there. And she said these people would come down and they would come one after another and look after the boy every day and struggle through. And they consoled me and told me that don't worry, you'll be all right. They gave me realization. And the heartening thing was they said that they were so selfless. They didn't ask for any money, nothing. And they enjoyed, you see, they enjoyed their love, what they did for this boy. And this is what it is. That when you are realized, you have to give it. If you don't give it, then you stagnate. You stagnate and there's no fragrance about it. No fragrance. No fragrance. And you lose your vibrations, your progress also retards. I know it's very hard in these modern times to create a group of people who can love. You can create a group of people who can hate. Supposing tomorrow you start one big procession. We hate God, we hate love, we hate this. You'll get thousands of them standing with you. Yes, oh, we hate. See, for hatred, you'll get thousands of them with banners. They'll pay for it and come down to show that they hate. Because hatred is a very cementing force among human beings, surprisingly. Hatred is a cementing force. It looks like something, such a contrast, but it is so. I mean, when you try to collect people in the name of hatred, people join. They have never exploited the powers of love. Never. I wish they had. All our wars, all our things have come out because we hate each other. Imagine, only human beings can hate that much. Animals can't hate so much as they can. So this love, which is divine love, which thinks, which coordinates, which understands, which is dynamic, is so fantastic, is so all-pervading. It lives in every particle of the matter, of the emotions, of the mind, of the heart. Everywhere it exists, that power you can have within yourself. It's too much to believe. Too much a tall story for anyone, but it's a fact. The time has come. It could not be done earlier, agreed, but the time has come. You have evolved to that stage, and that's why it has to happen. Now, if people do not accept, I must say this, futuristic problem. In case human beings do not accept it in a big number and become that, we cannot avoid the Third World War. By that war, a new consciousness may rise where people will understand this hatred is the worst thing. Perhaps we need a third shock. We have had two. Perhaps we need the third shock to give us that elevation, to get that position of higher consciousness where we start realizing that these things based on materialistic and on hatred, gross living is most dangerous to humanity. Then such people who really believe in love will rise and come up, and they might be the ones who will be saved. So we should at this stage try to save as many as possible from this horrible sinking mire of hatred. Now talking about it has been done. Establishment of your sustenance has been done in the sense that if you can awaken that sustenance within you on the void, you can achieve it. But main thing is, even after realization, to identify yourself as a realized soul, absolutely, that you have been given something very special, that you have your spirit which is manifesting, and that you have to make good out of it, that you have to give it to others, that you have to work it out. You have to be a collective being and not a secluded person, just attached to few minds, my house, my husband, my wife, my children, my chair. You can say my hair, my nose, everything goes there. to reduce yourself to that small world, but to expand yourself to that great world, which is Yehovah's world, which is Krishna's world, which is Virata's world, where you become one with that primordial being, where you become an active cell of that primordial being. That's the thing one has to do. And that breakthrough has to take place. Now, one may say that all the scriptures are wrong, everything is wrong, that all these manifestations are wrong, all Christ was no good, he was not practical, anything one may say. Yes, I mean, you have freedom to say what you like. But you must have wisdom to see that if there is a way, what must be the way? If there is a way for the emancipation of human beings, there's only one way. There's no other way. I mean, whatever you may be, an intellectual or a emotional person or anything, whatever it is, but you will reach one conclusion. There's only one way. And one way is transformation of human beings. To that level where they really say what they mean. They become. They talk of world brotherhood. They talk of everything. We have all kinds of organizations doing all this nonsensical work. You see, we have UN system and we have world government ideas. We talk of love, helping Vietnamese, this, that, all sorts of things are there. But actually we are not. Face to face we are not. Face to face we become ourselves. And that's why to become that, the becoming of it is important, the transformation is important. Once you are transformed, to identify yourself in that transformed state is also important. And that is only possible when you start allowing that transformation to take place within you, in thoughtless awareness, where you do not think and impose things on them. People get their realization all right. Last time so many got it, I don't know how many came back. And then they do not think that there is any further is needed. Because once you get realization, you can be very in a joyous state, blissful state. You might feel the vibrations very well. You'll be very happy. And then you'll get lost. That's not the point. You have not achieved your complete growth unless and until you have manifested yourself. But such people may be very few, I do not know, may be very few who will really take to that maturity. Once you are mature, it's joy, it's happiness. You become what you have to become. You find your absolute meaning. And that has to happen. For that, I'm sure Govind must have told you that there's a Kundalini and there are chakras and all this is already in your place. The machinery is there. It's not a machinery as this one is which is dead. The machinery that understands and that loves you. That loves. That's the part of this loving machinery of God. And that is what it manifests, is the divine love of God through you, which you can maneuver. By this, you may be able to manifest a voice, but with that machinery, when it works, when it is put to the mains, it works out that divine power. So to explain things to people of different various types that they have come, we normally divide them into three. As you know, the people who are ignorant, fearful. The people who are aggressive and up in vanity, who are vain about themselves. They think no end of themselves. And thirdly, the people who are neither vain nor afraid. Those are friendly, pleasant people, good people, who lead a life of moderation, who are exclusively, they do not ask for separate food, separate living, separate room, separate chair, but those who like to share, that type of central type of people. That type of people are best suited for such. And such people should be really tackled first.
ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीकल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीकल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माता जी श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः।
Thank you, Shimata ji, for today's collective morning meditation. Jai Shimata. Let's bow down to Shimata ji, raise our mother Kundalini and put Bandhan. We will continue our morning meditation. So please join tomorrow. Jai Shri Mataji.